किस्मत का मतलब है
हाँ।
कि कस मत अपने विचारों को, अपने कामों को, अपनी क्या है, आप आराम करना चाहते हो और भाग को दोष दे रहे हो, आप आलस में रह के भाग को दोष दे रहे हो, तो कस मत, किसी मामले खुला छोड़ दो, कोई बंधन नहीं है, ये सब बेकार की बातें हैं। आपको जब नींद आए तब नींद आराम से सोइए, जब आपको भूख लगे तो खूब आराम से खाइए, आपको भूख नहीं लग रही जबरदस्ती खाना मत खाइए। और एक हमारे यहाँ वैद्यों की कहावत है, ज्वर साधु और पाहुना लंघन देह कराए।
This was today's powerful message from the one who led the foundation of Amritam with his hard work and in-depth knowledge of Ayurveda, our very own Ashok uncle. And you know what? His presence on this season's very first episode makes this season even more special. Welcome to season 2 of Rediscovering Self with Amritam. Amritam is an Ayurvedic lifestyle brand and wellness community growing globally, celebrating nature, beauty, and mindful living. This is your host, Shilpa Dalmia, and on this season, we together take the journey of building a healthier, happier, and fuller life through the power of incredibly powerful Ayurveda. Yes, it's about our health, our happiness, and that too at our own place, our very own Amritam, your Amritam. Let's get started! Welcome, Dr. Shilpa, on Rediscovering Self with Amritam. Today, we are rediscovering the thought I don't feel confident in my body.
Thank you so much, Shweta. I think we have been putting this off for a long time now. Finally, I'm glad that we are doing this.
You know, Shilpa, like before, when I was researching for this interview, I found, a few things over the internet, and I would really like to share them with you. So these are the few things which I found. Some people have said that it is a tremendous struggle, and it's actually an act of rebellion to say I'm going to accept my body as it is, and I'm going to work to find peace in my body, because every message we're getting from society is that we need to change our body in some way. Our body is not enough as it is. I don't like looking at my pictures because I just hate the way I look. Another one says I don't want to go out because I don't look good. I can't stand my body. I don't want to be hard on myself, but what do? I want to love myself, love my body. But why am I not able to? I'm unhappy with the way I look. No amount of you look great is going to change that. My body is flawed. So am I flawed. My entire worth revolves around what I look like. I'm sick of hating how I look and feel. I don't know what the next steps are just to accept myself. I have struggled with body image issues all my life. I feel it's unfair to the body that has given me so much. I'm 18-year-old guy. I'm very insecure. I can't go out sometimes because of how bad I feel about myself. What will you say, Shilpa, to that?
Oh my God! Wow, this is a whole lot of negativity going on in one's mind, and I'm sure me and you, both of us have gone through some or the other phase like this, especially during our teenage lives, because I think all of this starts right from when we are a kid. It is I think it's mostly based on how you were raised as a kid, mostly on your social cultural backgrounds, how your parents treated you, how positive it was, the environment where you were brought up. I mean, that plays a huge impact on how you feel mentally and emotionally as an adult, as a teenager, and everything associated with that. So I think our parents and grandparents, everything, have been conditioned in such a way that okay, fairness is good, that is the ultimatum, or being thin or being in a particular size and shape is the best. And we have seen okay a lot of ads over the years on TV and where I mean in the movies everywhere. So we have been growing up. Every one of us are different. Each one of us are special, and nobody really bothers about that. We're just living and we're just growing up like just like that, seeing all these things, and it automatically feeds into your mind that okay, you are not enough. But by the time you start thinking or start observing what's happening in your body, like I think that's the time, like teenage or adolescent time is when you want to come out of your shell, when you want to express yourself, when you want to meet new people, when you're finding your individual self. That is the time all these insecurities or what all that have been fed or conditioned so far comes up. I think I think that parenting and growing up and all these kind of things are a part of your what you feel as an adult or an adolescent kid. Yeah,
So, like, how do I say break free from all these things which have been conditioned on me? Or, how do I break free from this thought? Because, to be honest, no one wants to feel this way. Everyone wants to be
exactly.
confident in their own skin.
Yes.
But then, what is stopping us? And also, on this note, I would like to ask you that what's your story, Shilpa? Like, how did you overcome this challenge? And how does Ayurveda help us do that?
I think I don't think nobody has gotten over that path. I think it's a constant journey. It is going, I'm sure it's going to be a slow process for each one of us because now we have been brought up in that generation. Maybe the next generation can change. The generation we live in, I think we have been conditioned enough in such a way that, okay, to get out of that, it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of struggle. And I feel like positivity is quite a big word for us now because accepting, just accepting our body is good enough for now, or what you call it, neutrality is good enough for now. We might not be able to jump directly into positivity and, okay, I'm feeling nice, okay, my body is very good. We might not reach that space so soon, just like we say it, and it might lead to a toxic level. So before that, the basic thing to do is maybe just accept your body. You just have to start with neutrality. Okay, regarding my story, I guess I've always had crooked teeth ever since school. I did try fixing it, but then got into a point where I was scared to go to the dentist and stuff. So earlier, people used to make fun of it. Then it used to affect me also over a period of time. Then slowly, I started accepting, okay, I'm not going to change it. There are ways to change it, but I'm not choosing that path. I'm going to keep it like this. Then once I started accepting the way it is, people also started responding, okay, it's nice like this. Maybe you should not change it. Okay, I think that is the main goal of I guess it should be the goal of everyone. Once you start accepting, you don't need to like say it. Okay, I have the best teeth or I have the best body. You just have to, okay, this is how it is. I don't mind. Let it be there. You have to reach to that point first before going to all positivity and stuff.
And what other, like, why do say someone doesn't feel confident in their bodies? What could be the possible reason? One, we talked about, parenting or growing up, and what could be other reasons for that?
I think it's mostly the environment we live in. Right now, we are consuming a lot of information from all over the world. Okay, right now we are exposed to topics like these, like body positivity and neutrality and stuff like that. But probably 5 or 10 years back, this was not the situation. We were just consuming a lot of information and data and pictures of models and a lot of media influence on us, a lot of ads, a lot of movies. I think that created an impact on us. It is mostly that. Then again, it could be like how you grew up or any traumatizing experience you had as a child. I think this is not just mostly, we might concentrate this topic mostly on women, but it's not the case. A lot of guys have gone through, being fat shamed as a kid and losing their confidence to talk to people and then evolving into much better individuals, but still they have gone through the space, but silently. We are more vocal about women issues when it comes to body image and positivity, but I think it is a gender independent problem. Most of the people face that issue. It is going on still, yeah.
And how do I say, like, for example, how do I resolve what I am going through? One, you talked about accepting my own self. What are the other ways which I can follow, or what are the practices which I can follow which will help me accept myself the way I am, and also moving towards, say, my personal goals?
Okay, I think we have to direct our concentration towards like achieving certain things rather than focusing ourselves on our body. And like I said, you can't reach that phase like, oh, I love my body and I have the best body phase. It's a slow process, and I think everyone in our generation is going through that. It has to reach a point of neutrality more than positivity. It has to be like one day
And
at a
how
time.
would you define neutrality?
I think the difference between positivity and neutrality is like neutrality concentrates more on acceptance. It feels more real. You know, positivity is what is being spread around all over the internet and everywhere. Like, okay, but that could have a negative impact also. You know, too much positivity can lead to being lazy and not care because okay, I love my body as how it is. I shouldn't take care of it. I can be lazy and I can be unhealthy. So that is toxic. Whereas neutrality is more real. You accept the way it is, you pamper your body, you look after it, and then you take one day at a time.
So give me some ways I can do this. Like give me some ways I can pamper my body. I can, move towards a healthier mindset which will help me accept my body the way it is.
I think the first thing to do is stop comparing yourself with others. I think you have to focus on yourself. You as a person has lot more things to do than sit in front of the mirror and think about how you look and how it's going to affect. It is easier said than done. I know that because nobody has gone past that phase. Everybody, all of us are struggling. So I think when we consider that, like all of us are in this whole a big community going through the same phase, I think that can also help, get into that track easier. And I think we have to be in such environments and not subject yourself to such environments which make you doubt your self-worth. You know, not being around with people or not being around in such environments where you have to doubt your self-worth. Yeah. And I think to an extent, meditation helps. Meditation actually it helps in a lot of other things, but still it takes away the unwanted stress for starters. Yeah.
What does Ayurveda say about like the body image issues? What is Ayurveda's point of view about it?
Actually, Ayurveda classifies not just about body. Like we have a lot of constitutions, which is popularly known as Prakriti. That is based on body type. There is no good or bad Prakriti. It's just there. All the types have been described just like that, and there is no good or bad. It can be a mix, and certain traits have been mentioned, like Kapha, Vata, or Pitta Prakriti, and a mix of both or a combination of two, like that. And also about like Ayurveda mentions about health as in that shloka, like Prasanna Atmendriya Mana. So the health of your mind and senses are also very important for your healthy body. If you are facing issues with your body, it affects your mind also. So it's a vicious cycle. So you have to keep your mind healthy so as to keep your body healthy. I think another issue is like the intimate wellness and hygiene. I think now it's being talked about. Now we are more open-minded towards it, regarding pubic hair, whether to keep it or not. But when we talk medically about it, it's quite healthy to keep the pubes, and it's whether to keep it or not is a totally subjective thing to do. And as like pubic hair has the ability to guard your reproductive organs from all the other pathogens and everything. So keeping it would be a better option than keeping it away. So
And how is pubic hair actually related to body image issues? Or does that also gives the body image issues?
I guess all of us have been in that phase. It is not what it is not an issue which affects like one or two people. Everyone, all of us have gone through that phase of whether to keep it or not, what will people think. And especially while we are in such a vulnerable position, all our insecurities come up. in at that point of time. So I guess that's the time when we are like the most vulnerable. So that is the time when we think about, okay, do I have a perfect body? Is it like, can I show it to myself, or can I show it to somebody else? That is the most vulnerable state. So that is also you know, another important place where body image issues, pop up.
Also, I read this that Ayurveda actually focuses on the fact that every person is unique. And also, Ayurveda's way towards looking at it is like, when we understand a unique body and mind, that is when we can begin to reveal our true beauty. And, I read this somewhere actually that we all have different body types according to Ayurveda. And once we say, start accepting that, for example, say I could be a pitta, and that being a pitta gives me some qualities, and that becomes really my unique qualities. Do you think that focusing on such a mindset can really help me accept my body the way it is?
Exactly. Like we used to do that while we were doing our undergraduate study. Like we used to assess each one's prakriti, and okay, you have this trait. Okay, you get angry very fast. You have a lot of pitta in you, and we understand our trait and behave accordingly. So that's why it's very unique. And like when we treat a disease, also we consider this unique constitution of every patient that we see. So that is why Ayurvedic treatments are unique. We are not treating the disease alone. We have to treat the whole person. So we have to assess the prakriti, the constitution, and how the person is, and then we go on to the disease. Yeah, that's why I said like there is no good or bad prakriti, or they're just mentioned, and only the derangements or the what we call as doshas. Okay, kava pitta vada, its imbalance is only the thing to be treated. Otherwise it's just different types of constitution. There is nothing bad or good about it.
So, Shilpa, like give me some way, for example, some examples that how are different doshas really defining the way we look, so that our listeners also know that, we all like have a type, and this is what that type makes us unique. So, different doshas and how they enhance or how they, control the way, say, we look, or the way, yeah, the way we look actually.
Yeah, I'd like to like start with me. I am a mix of vata and pitta. So I have very dry skin, which is a very characteristic trait of vata as a dosha. Then I also have a element of pitta. I get angry very fast, and my thoughts keep wavering. So that is another specific trait of vata. When you are a kaba kind of a person, you will have a bit more softer skin. You will be a little more obese, not obese, but a little more chubbier, not lean. Vada persons mostly tend to be on the leaner side. Pitta people can will develop gray hairs more quickly than the other constitution. Yeah, these are like some of the few traits.
And do you think that knowing, like what our body type is, what our mind type is, can actually help us live in harmony with us, say, with our unique psychological and physiological, with our unique psychological and physiological self, instead of actually fighting with it, that why am I not a certain way? Why don't I look a certain way? Or, why I'm not just, say, some like person B, while that person B is thinking that why I'm not like, say, person A.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have to at some point make peace with how we look. Otherwise, life is going to be very hard. We have to understand that each one of us are special. Each one of us are unique. There is nobody like us. There is no other person like us. I think we have to understand that fact for us to be like feel better about ourselves. There is no other person like us. We are just one. We are just unique, and our body, our hair, eyes are just ours, and it's unique to us. And we don't need to compare ourselves with anybody else. It is going to be a very slow process. You can't wake up one day and think that, okay, my body is great. I love my body. I love the way I look. It will be a slow process. Yeah, you don't have to wake up every day and think of how you look as the first thing. For me to evolve to this stage where, okay, like now, I think it's a slow process. Like now I don't care much about like, when we are going out to grocery shopping or something like that. You just leave just like that casually. Compared to earlier where I used to, get ready and stuff, for a short errand.
No, definitely. And also, I think it's about that, we don't have to wait for a certain day or a certain time that, okay, when my body, say, gets to this weight, or say, when my skin becomes, completely flawless, that is when I'm going to love it. Or that is when I'm going to accept myself for a fact. It's a continuous process, and we just need to keep working on it.
Yeah, it is a continuous process, and uh, we have to expect that we might not reach that phase in a day or in a month. It might take longer than that. And also, but having said about body positivity, it shouldn't be at such a point that you absolutely forget about your body's health. You hoard your body with everything junk and then saying, okay, I love my body and I don't care how it looks. That is reach a point where you call it lazy. Body positivity and neutrality is also about self care, also about maintaining your health and just keeping away from illnesses. You have to be fit, not like complete a tin or a specific body size, but you have to be healthy and you have to be able to do your daily chores without
I think that is
panting.
like what the transition for me happened. Like there was a time when I was like also in a very low phase, like complaining the way I look, not loving the way I look, became extremely conscious about, what I'm wearing or how I'm looking. But just switching the thought that I need to be the healthiest version of myself and working towards it, be it, for example, like I would like to share my personal experience here. What worked for me was focusing on my health, keeping my health first. Like be it, say, following an ayurvedic lifestyle where I have started using, oils that make my hair stronger, or practicing simple practices like oil pulling, abhyanga, or even, just incorporating that perfect diet. With diet, I'm not like saying that, okay, I'm doing a very high diet or something. No, just a healthy way. So it keeps me motivated that, okay, I'm working on myself. And that for me is like helps me come out of all the negativity I was in, and that self sabotage that we sometimes do ourselves. So Dr. Shilpa, like, also, like, tell me this thing, that is there any ideal body type?
The straight answer is no. There is no ideal body type. You don't ever have to think that there is an ideal body type. Every body is different and unique. It defines you as a person. So I think finding out your individual self also should be through your body, and not just your mind and not just your career goals, but also through your body. That also, that is the first thing like people see. So that shows your individual self, that reflects your individual self. So I think that comes first. So discovering yourself, just like rediscovering yourself, should be through your body first, more than your
And would
mind.
you also say that, because I read this somewhere, that, for example, I am, say, working towards a goal. So just showing up every day, say, on your yoga mat, or showing up every day for all the little practices that you have started to incorporate also makes a difference. Because that is what you are taking a step towards,
Exactly.
your ideal body, like what you want, like the definition of what you
Yeah,
want.
exactly. It is based on each individual's needs. It should not be under pressure. It should not be under someone else's, dictation. Like you have to be at a certain weight or something like that. You have to feel healthy from inside. That is your ideal body. It shouldn't be under any pressure.
Yes. So, my last question to you would be, say, like, we all go through this phase when we feel, yaar, har koi ye keh raha hai ki theek hai, accept yourself, you are unique, your body is unique. But, jab hum log is phase ke through ja rahe hote hain na, ye सारी बातें बहुत meaningless लगती है कभी कभी. We feel that, yeah, this is just so meaningless, they won't understand me, they're not
Yeah,
under.
having
So,
like it is easier said than done.
what would you say to, for example, listeners who are listening to us right now, जिनको शायद लग रहा है कि no, maybe why I'm again listening that, okay, accept yourself, or
Yeah,
say
I mean, what
start.
are these people saying? They don't understand what I'm going through.
So what would you say to them? What would be your message to them? Or what would you say ki, theek hai, they have listened to this conversation, or this is the first step that you should take after this conversation?
I think I have to tell them like you're not alone. He has gone through this phase and you will also slowly get out of it. Maybe not in a day, not in a month, maybe in few months. You will also be in a neutral space because what is being spread around is too much of positivity. I think the first thing, the more real version or which is more easily attained is neutrality. Accepting the way it is and not being, positive or negative about it. Just accept the way it is.
No, definitely you said it right. And just like, to our listeners, I would just let you guys know that please move towards your individual goals, move towards a healthier and a happier life. And it might, just come with small little steps that you take for yourself, because, this has personally worked for me. It makes me feel more empowered. It makes me feel more better about myself, that yes, I'm prioritizing my health and I'm keeping my health, first. And it could be all the little practices that Ayurveda tells us. So Dr. Shilpa, give me, few practices that Ayurveda tells us which would help me have a healthier body and which we can do on a daily basis.
I think to all other procedures we can do at home. I think Abhyanga is the most, which is very close to the body. We are massaging our body with the oil, and it obviously imparts luster and it gives a smooth texture. If you have any specific skin illness, the oil should be according to that. So yeah, I think I'd like to suggest Abhyanga.
This is one thing which I actually say to myself a lot of times when I'm going through this thought. I don't know, like it might help someone. So whenever a negative thought creeps in, I just tell myself that okay, I'm not maybe liking my body right now, but this is the body who actually stood with me every single time. This is the body who actually helped me bounce back, helped me sometimes, travel to so many different paths, sometimes work late nights, sometimes actually standing on the pedestal accepting awards. This is the body that made me
Exactly.
capable of who I
This
am.
is the body
And
which
I
catered to all your needs, all your
exactly.
everything.
And while every cell of that body, every cell in say your bellies, every cell of your thighs, every cell or every element of your skin was there with you, so we cannot leave it right now, and we cannot say I don't like you, because they were with you at your highs, they are with you at your lows, and they'll always be with you.
Oh, that's a very beautiful statement.
So, thank you, Dr. Shilpa. Thank you for being with us today. And I hope that our listeners got to learn so much. And together we can begin this journey. And we all are work in progress.
Thank you for having me, Shweta. I think we have been putting off this for a long time now. I'm glad that we are finally doing this, and also on this very, very, very relevant topic. And I hope I could contribute some points to those whoever are listening to this podcast.
Yes, definitely. And together we begin this journey towards a healthier, happier, and fuller lives.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.